So, a lot of people say that it's about being at the right place at the right time. I think a lot of it is knowing where to be at the right place at the right time. And good on you, Ted. You saw the writing on the wall after WrestleMania 3, and
Yeah,
you made the right move.
yeah. But I still think about it sometimes, Marcus. Stan Hansen. Uh, he stayed with Japan, and that's what he did. Stan Hansen did not end up. He didn't end up being really well known in the United States.
Right.
Um, but I don't know what. It's like, if I'll put it this way: if I was getting $1,000 a day, he was getting more.
Yep.
He was the guy. And even when I went to Giant Baba and said, "Look, this is an opportunity I can't pass, and I hope you understand that, and I thank you." I said, I'm going to finish out, and Baba was great. He said, "Thank you very much," and the door is open. In other words, anytime you want to come back, just call us.
So an ace in the hole, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. So,
Now, I
wow.
do have to ask about Stan Hansen, because, for frame of reference for our listeners, you guys were really kind of setting the world on fire over there in Japan as like the top Gaijin tag team.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you've got to tell your buddy Stan, "Hey brother, I know that we're killing it over here, but I gotta go." How does Stan Hansen react to you going to Titan?
He understood. He understood. I mean, and of course, I was thankful to him. I don't know how much of that that idea was his, or the Japanese company. Papa's company. Um, and sometimes I still, even now, all these years later, I still wonder, man. I started thinking about that. I could have been doing a lot of other things. When I was home. That's the one thing about going to work for Vince is now I'm going all over the country, and it's like when I first started, it was 3 weeks, there were 21 days out, and then a week off. 21 straight days, 21 days, 21 cities. That's when they were building, and then oh my gosh, it's just incredibly. And when I think about the fact that I could have been going to Japan, paying for nothing but my food, taking all my money home, and was I making $1,000 a day in the United States? No.
That is where it
Yeah,
starts to get.
brother, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was a hard choice to make, and it was just that I didn't want to. I wanted to remain relative. Because like when, and then I say I wanted to remain relative. In the United States. Well, who cares? At the end of the day, as I sit here talking to you, and I'm 71 years old. Uh, yeah, I mean, I have action figures and all that stuff, and I'm all these video games, and everybody knows who the $1 Million Man is. And that wouldn't be true if I had stayed working for Giant Baba and All Japan Pro Wrestling. But I may have had more money. I may have sold more money. And I don't know. Uh,
You may have made up for it though, like long term, as far as like being asked to come back to the WWF and them giving you payoffs, not to mention merch table stuff,
yeah,
residuals from toys and VHSs and stuff like that. So, and I will say, Ted, the first time you and I spoke on the phone, I was in the car with my wife, and Jake put you on the phone, and we had our first discussion about doing a podcast together. I got off the phone, and my wife was like, "Who was that you were talking to?" And I said, "That was the $1 Million Man." She knew exactly who I was talking about, and my wife is not a wrestling fan. If I had said, "That was Stan Hansen," she would have been like, "Who's Stan Hansen?"
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
something to be said for it.